So I think in front of our eyes, we are seeing the death of the fake Natty. And actually what is going to happen is we're going to get the rise of the proud drug man. I mean, I don't know what that means. The PDM, the proud drug man, or the proud drug woman, PDH, proud drug human. Total a-hole here, and let us just be honest, there's no such thing as a fake Natty anymore. Look.
How many cycles have I done? So that's a question I get asked all the time. I guess people think I've done a bunch. I've only done one. It was a low-dose SARM, but I research all types of gear. When am I starting my real cycle? So obviously, as most of you guys know, gear is expensive. So the plan right now, and has been, blast off March 15th.
I'll be rooting for you, cuz. Always.
And of course I am only kidding. There are still a bunch of people, usually mass monsters, that you look at and go, well, clearly you're doing something, that will then tell you they're not doing something. But the new trend, it's not even new, but the trend in bodybuilding fitness now is the younger you are and the earlier you get into it, you go on social media, you go on Instagram, you go on, not really Twitter, but you go on TikTok and you just tell everyone, hi man, I am doing a cycle. I'm doing SARMs, I'm doing pills, I'm doing testosterone, and I'm going to update you on the results. Now I want to make it very clear, it is your choice to decide whatever the hell you want to do in your life. But what I believe you should always do before you go on any endeavor is watch as many single people that you believe are educated as you can and figure out the pros, figure out the cons, write them down, look at them side by side, sleep on it for a good few weeks, and then decide what you're wanting to do. And you would have heard this 1,000 times before, but it's true. When you are young, and even when you're not so young, you think you're invincible. You think you are absolutely invincible and nothing is ever going to happen to you. And do you know what? You very may well be for a certain amount of time. What I mean by that is there are people that smoke every single day of their life and they die from natural causes at 1995. 1995, and they go back in time. Oh, I'm in 1995. Worst Back to the Future film ever. At 95, and there are others that die of lung cancer that have never smoked in their life. But living your life that way seems to be a little bit crazy. So don't just do it on a whim. Don't just flip a coin like Harvey Two-Face and go, oh man, I know what I'm going to do. Research this stuff and figure out if you really want to take this risk. Because the more sensible thing to imagine, if I do abuse these drugs and if I do abuse my body, I'm probably going to have to pay some kind of consequences down the line, right? It's just true. Think of anybody you know that probably has taken some stuff for a long term and probably pushed the limits of it, and they've probably run into some kind of health complication. But the one thing that I cannot advocate for in any sense is doing this kind of stuff when you are still in your formative years. And when I say formative years, I'm talking 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, probably 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, 31. Maybe at 32 years old, you can go, man, maybe I should give it a whirl. And even then, there are things that you do have to consider. But we are going to the extreme with this one, because as you've seen in those clips, there are 15-year-olds on some kind of a gear.
Oh, my Instagram name is Big Natty Daddy. It's just about irony, you know, the natty part in the middle of my name. People are like, oh, you're not natty. People get mad about that and stuff when I clearly talk about, you know, how I'm not natural.
The thing that blows my brain is I'm not going to pretend I haven't been tempted by this stuff, especially when I was a youth, because I would look up to all these people that were massive and go, man, I desperately want to look like them, but I wouldn't have even know where to start. And thank goodness I didn't, because who knows what path I would have gone down before I got some wiseness, not even a word, some wisdom and some experience under my belt. But these days, I guess because of the rise of the internet, they're accessible. They're really accessible and you can find them wherever you want. But I promise you, without a shadow of a doubt, if you are 16, 17 years old and you jump on something like this, you are going to screw up your endocrine system. And probably by the time unless you're really lucky, the thing is, you won't be lucky because you won't actually know what you're doing. Even though there's a bunch of information out there, people read the posts that speak to them. So you can read one post that says, okay, if you're going to do this, you need to do this. You need to do this, you need to do that. You're like, whoa, that's way too much stuff. Whereas somebody else would go, nah, man, just take one drug and you'll probably be fine. You think, well, that sounds great. I'm going to do that one. You screw up your endocrine system. And then by the time you're like 23, 24, your natural testosterone does not turn on, or return on, I should say, because you've suppressed it for too long and you didn't do some kind of PCT. And then you have to go on medical testosterone for the rest of your days. And you don't want to do that because that comes with its own problems too. So it's this rickety-dickety slope. But it used to be that people tried to pretend they didn't do these things, right? It's a whole video series that people do. It's like, it's a whole nay or not. That's what people talk about all the time. It's like, oh man, I don't do anything. And you look look at them and you're like, well, how come you have the greatest physique I have ever seen in my entire life? And I understand why people don't want to tell you this stuff, which is why the best thing to do is just assume that everyone takes steroids. Because if you do that, you won't be tricked into this horrible mind flubbery where you're like, well, if they're natural, how come they look like that? And I look like a bag of potatoes. So if you just presume, you know what, they're doing steroids, it's just better for your own well-being. And that's the most important thing. But there is no way before your, process of growing up and your process of evolving into a proper human person that you should be trying to screw that up. Like, it's absolutely crazy. And that's before we get into all the other things, your livers, your kidneys, and who knows what else. You don't know how this stuff is going to affect you. Because again, there are some people that can't even take 5 grams of creatine a day. It doesn't sit well with them. Which this stands to reason then that there's going to be some people that can't even take, the tiniest bit of steroid sum, whatever it would be, without getting into some serious problems. And I know your friend Barry, he's slamming stuff in his ass. He's doing like 1,000 mgs of test a week. He's lucky. Barry is lucky. But also Barry in 25 years, you don't know what's going to go down. But I absolutely find it crazy now. It's almost cool. It's cool to be like, man, I'm busting all these SARMs. I'm smashing it at the taste. There's a thread you can find on Reddit where it talks about like what liquid you should use to wash SARMs down to get rid of the taste. Some people say orange juice. Some people say apple juice. There was one that said something along the lines of, oh no, not pineapple juice, because it diminishes the effects of the SARMs. I was like, what are you talking about? It's just a sugary drink. What do you think is going on in this stuff? And when you are treating it as such a shallow thing, to me, that can only result in bad news brown. Like, it can only result in bad news brown. And you really, 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 that's right, I'm being a PSA, I'm being your dad, have to be careful about this stuff. Because once you start on the pathway, it can happen to you in a couple of weeks. It takes a couple of weeks to build up into your bloodstream. And if your body doesn't like it, you ain't going to be feeling great. And you have to think to yourself, is it worth it just to have a better physique than you already do? And I totally understand it. We talk about this all the time. Sometimes you look at your body and you think, what is that? That's what you do. You go, what is that? You absolute disgusting human being. But just move past it, get over it, talk to a friend, maybe change up your diet a little bit, change up your training, or go see a personal trainer, etc. That's what I would do. Take the money you're about to spend on drugs and put it on a trainer instead and see what they say. And I'm not saying that you can't do this eventually if you really, really, really want to, and nobody's going to talk you out of it otherwise. But if that is the case, go watch More Plates, More Dates. Go watch Greg Doucette. Go watch a bunch of people that will walk you through this stuff and not only let you know the joys of doing it, but also the negatives and how to protect yourself as much as possible. Because you're seeing this stuff all the time. I don't even go looking for it now, but because a lot of my social media activity is bodybuilding, fitness, weightlifting, these algorithms know what they're doing. So you will just land on this, 14-year-old being like, man, I just got this SARM and I'm going to take it now. And like, they're not getting their blood work done. They're not doing anything after the fact. They just think that they can. And usually, actually, I tell you, the biggest story you get with SARMs especially is all of a sudden, sort of 6 weeks into it, everyone's like, why do I feel so crap? Why am I exhausted all the time? I'm struggling to go to the gym. And it's because you've switched off your testosterone. Because you told your body, essentially, again, this is layman terms, go watch the dude I just talked about for a proper scientific breakdown. But you've told your body to stop producing testosterone. Your brain doesn't know what's going on. It just knows, well, something has told me I don't need to make any more testosterone. So it stops. Unless, of course, you're actually doing testosterone to replace it. That's a totally different video. You're going to feel like crap. And do you really want to feel like crap? I'm going to guess no. And if you do, that's a totally different issue. I would advise you go and speak to someone. So I think in front of our eyes, we are seeing the death of the fake Natty. And actually what is going to happen is we're going to get the rise of the proud drug man. I mean, I don't know what that means. The PDM, the proud drug man, or the proud drug woman, PDH, proud drug human. And I suppose in one ways that is better. You can totally argue this. I'd much rather people were transparent and honest with what they're doing. But on the other, it almost trivializes it. And it kind of makes it sound like, well, why aren't you doing this? There are people on TikTok especially insulting other gym goers for being natural, which is actually an experience I had myself. When I was training at that crazy, crazy hardcore bodybuilding gym years and years ago, there was a guy who was literally doing steroids in front of me, and I was young. I was like 70. I was freaking the hell out, and I wanted to get out of there. And he thought it was hilarious that I was drinking my post-workout shake without doing all this other stuff, because he was like, what a waste of time. And I was like, that doesn't seem like the right kind of message to be putting out there. And what's happened, I mean, that was, again, years and years ago, but what's happened now is that message has gone onto the internet, which is far more accessible, and now people are starting to think, well, unless I'm doing some kind of drugs, it's a waste of time going to the gym. And if you're doing that, I don't think you're going to the gym for the right reasons. I don't really know what the answer to any of this is, but I just think sometimes if you do appreciate my videos and you do think I know what I'm talking about, which sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, you always have to accept that you need to learn and educate yourself. But if this message can kind of just become a bit more normalized, that this is what is scary stuff, right? Bad things can happen here. I think that would be better for all. I mean, look at all the videos and the news stories you see about bodybuilders dropping dead. Because what usually happens is, you start with testosterone, then you go on to something else and something else, and you're always looking to get bigger and bigger. And do not forget about that as well. You're naturally not happy with your physique, so you go on to something. You're still not happy with your physique, so you go on to something else. And this continues on and on and on until you're just in a whirlwind of drugs. And then how the hell do you get off all of that? And let's not forget either that when you do come off, you are going to feel like crap. Of course you are. Because you basically turn yourself into a superhero for, 8, 12 weeks, whatever the hell you're going to run on a cycle. And then when you come off it, you don't feel like a superhero anymore. And you're going to be upset and you're going to look at yourself and you get even worse with this self-problems in your head. Now, I know, I'm not going to name this, it's not fair, but I know a couple of my friends that are into the gym that are, well, I guess we would call them constant drug users. I don't know what to say. And I've never been in that boat, and I see the peaks and troughs that they go through, and it's one of these major reasons where I'm like, you know what, I don't want to do it. So there you go. There's my rant for a Monday. And again, I'm not against anything that you want to do. I just want people to be safer with it. And my worry is that as it does become more mainstream, people won't even think about it. They will think it's the same as taking creatine, which is kind of ironic because for years, people not so educated on bodybuilding thought that creatine was a steroid to begin with, which is absolutely ludicrous. So we've kind of come full circle. But when you do see these videos on, TikTok, especially TikTok, and it is just so blasé, I'm worried these people actually haven't read into what this stuff can do. So again, take care of yourself. That's the most important thing. I'm going to put my catchphrase in here because it makes sense. The most important word in health and fitness, is health. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Hit the bell, ding, ding, notification gang, so you know when the next video goes live. There will be a video on the screen in a second. Maybe now give it a click. GorillaMind.com/Simon. These are supplements that I think are very good, and if you use the code Simon to get 10% off, also supports me, because obviously I get a bit of money from that. Do that with what you will. Also in Greg Doucette's Power 13 Cookbook, on Instagram and Twitter at SimonMiller316. Patreon.com/Simon316 if you'd like to support the channel that way. Even $1 absolutely rocks. On Cameo if you want a shout out, and that's it, isn't it? Simon.bigcartel.com for merch. Did I do that? No idea. Take care of yourself. And I mean that, not just a way to end a video. Take care of yourself. You only have one body, so you may as well treat it as well as you can. See you soon.